Wouldn't you?
Okay. Ready to
Perfect timing.
go.
What were you guys saying? Sorry, I was distracted.
You are fine.
Decker clapped.
I
He
clapped.
did
Yep.
his.
I did the clap. It's the official start of official programming. Brought to you by Limoncello LaCroix.
Oh
And
shoot! I don't.
Do I have a
Johnny loves LaCroix.
Also brought to you by Juantonio's,
Juantonio's.
otherwise known as Juanitas, if you're in other markets. And also brought to you by, what's that?
otter wax?
Mm-hmm.
Fabric wax.
What? I don't know what fabric wax
Yeah,
does.
what
is
is
fabric
fabric
wax?
wax?
I need to. I have it so I can re-wax my waxed canvas jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, I get you.
So then it becomes waterproof again.
All right.
Okay, let's have a summit. Let's have a nice little summit.
I'm not gonna tell my Wahoo story, Decker. I don't think it's appropriate for public consumption.
I think people should know about it. I think you should tell your Wahoo story.
Now I definitely want to know.
Yeah, I want to know too.
What should I use the same word I used earlier?
Yeah.
But I also like how like a politician you were. You're like, I'm not going to talk about this thing that.
Listen, we're gonna make Wahoo rides great again. They're gonna be the best Wahoo rides
that you've ever seen.
No, I don't know what the deal was, Sam, because like I've been doing the Wahoo. Do you know what I mean? And it's been fine, no worries. Like everything's great. And then I did a ride the other day, and then I had to go shower and get ready for work real quick, and I discovered that I was having a little bit of bleeding from the Gucci region.
Oh, geez.
So I don't know if my chamois is wearing thin or if I was just in a weird position or what happened, but
I bet you rubbed it raw. It was in weird position.
That's exactly
Do you know
what
that
happened.
when you pedal, you don't actually have to hip thrust every time you pedal? That might have been it.
You don't have to, but there's,
It looks
I'm
way
trying to-
better.
You don't get the full body
I'm
workout.
trying to
It
get
really
those
does
sick
work the
gains,
core.
Sam. Anyway, I had a little bit of what you might call unfortunate series of circumstances, but everything's fine.
Something's off for sure. Like your
Bike
seat's
fit.
too high.
I think Jen and I were talking about this. Jen's experiencing numbness in hands, right? Which is a key bike fit indicator, right?
I
We
think
need to
the
get
seat's
that
too
fixed.
high.
And if that happens, then we for sure
I
need
think
to
the
get
seat's too high too.
Seat might be too high. It might be too far back.
I think I need to
everything.
I think I need to level it a little bit, and I think I need to drop it just a little bit.
It especially if it's tilted back, that could be why you are rubbing it in spaces you don't.
It's the destroyer.
You don't need to share it with anybody publicly, but you should just film yourself on it and see if your hips are like going down to try and reach the bottom of your pedal stroke. Because if you're reaching down with your hip rather than just smooth legs and your butt stays exactly level, I think
I've been thinking through all of that, right? The thing that's weird is it wasn't bothering me on any of the other rides. It was just this last ride I did that bothered me. And so I'm kind of wondering if I was like on it weird. Do you know what I mean? Like just not in the right position.
Maybe, but I feel like it would. I don't know. If your bike's in your right position, it's hard to get out of position. Like you'd have to be doing something to get out.
But here's what I recommended is spend some time to fiddle with it, and then see how strong you feel about it. But also, it's expensive to do, but having a bike fit where somebody actually that knows what the hell they're doing comes to your house, but you go to them and they come to you and say, these are the things to fix, this is how we're going to fix it, this is how we're going to measure and they do all this stuff, and then you never have to worry about it on that bike again,
Yep.
is worth so much. You might have to worry about it. So between here and July, like there's likely some fitness gains that will happen that might change the way that you are interfacing with the bike.
Anatomical
Mhm.
connectivity. Yeah.
Right. And that might be updated, but it's worth the $250 or $200 to
I
have
wonder
Yeah.
if
to have
cheaper there
somebody
too.
help you with your bike fit.
So we were looking at the Hanger 15 stuff. Do you think the 250 is the right one, or do you think I need the full 350
I
one?
would probably do the 250 if I'm remembering correctly. It's as long as they get your cleats in there, as long as they check your cleats and they do the thing, it's probably worth it. Like, I don't know, Sam, we paid $300 for ours, right?
I think it was below that, but I think right there,
Is it? Yeah,
270.
about like two something or something. I don't know, but here's the thing: is you can do some damn good bike fitting yourself by like recording yourself riding on your trainer and then like watching all the doggone videos on the tubes
ECNs, yeah.
about how to do it, and you can get a pretty decent usable fit, and then you can ride on the trainer for an hour, and then if you start to feel like, oh, my knee feels a little wiggly or my tendon feels a little crummy, then you can start to tune it that way. um, so but if you are right now experiencing things that are pretty sincere, like hand numbness, then probably worth.
Well, and it's not that my hands get numb; it's that my wrists get real like sore.
That's right. You're getting a lot of, and if your wrists are getting
And
sore,
I
your
think
hands will get numb. 100%.
well, and the same thing happened when I started riding before, and then as I got better at kind of getting the crunch position. Do you know what I mean? Because there's
Mhm.
sort of a way you want your body on the bike, and as I got better at that, it relieved pressure up
Sure.
off of the. I think it was just core strength. Do you know what I mean?
It makes a difference, to be sure. Core strength makes a huge difference.
But the challenge with biking though is you spend so much time on it, and every motion you do literally a million times, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
like if you're off a little, it's gonna
It's about the
compound.
efficiency of motion for sure. Yeah.
So you can mess up your knees, or you can do some stuff even though you're pretty close.
I've had rides that I couldn't finish. Like I had to call somebody to pick me up because my bike fit was wrong and my knee hurt so bad that I couldn't fix it well enough, and I couldn't make it home. Just couldn't do it. So
But I also do believe that you can do it without going to an official place. It's just
agreed.
quicker and it's done, right?
Yeah.
Like so.
Yeah. And quicker and done and whatever. But you can troubleshoot it quite a bit through the stuff.
Yeah, I'm just
Everybody's
going to make those two tiny little adjustments, and I don't think I need to change it that much because I mean I've put mad miles on this bike in
Sure.
the exact configuration it's in now.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Uh, but again, it was like I was at a different fitness level then. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, Johnny, that bike that BMC is going to need to be configured, right? Like, because right now it's set up for me. Um,
Sure.
you're gonna want to drop that seat by like, I don't know,
a bit.
quite a bit. And there's like we can share videos about like here's the things to pay attention to when you do that.
Okay.
And what to change and how to know it's far enough down and that kind of thing. But for the most part, like get it to where you feel comfortable, and then just start like doing the neighborhood pedal to feel what it feels like to ride, and you'll start to get an idea about how far off you still are.
Okay.
But did you get cleats for your shoes?
Nope, not yet, but I do have a helmet.
You do. Nice.
Yeah.
Did you get tempted by having a helmet with a visor?
So I looked at it, but I actually was able. I have a coworker who just bought a couple of bike helmets that he's not using, so I hit him up and
Nice.
yeah, I'm just gonna
Did you
buy one
get
off of him for super cheap.
Did you get one that has like the long pointy thing in the back?
Yeah, hell yeah, it
Your time trials?
looks like Alien. Yeah.
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 Good. That's what you need.
Did you see Jonas Vindigo's helmet this year? It
I haven't.
is. You should Google it.
I'm gonna look it
It's
up right now.
looks like a novelty item from like Spaceballs. It really does. See if I can.
Oh
if
yeah, yeah. I know this helmet. Can I copy image? I will.
That's amazing.
I will put the image in
Yeah,
chat.
will you send it?
I'll put it in chat right now.
Oh yeah, dude.
Did you see it? The front
Listen
view
to
is
you
the
guys.
best. If you can see it from the front, it's so good.
What a guy!
It's
Defends.
the time trial helmet.
What a guy! I got another one. But also, Jonas is like everybody's favorite. I love him so much. He's,
I know. It's because he's
Jonas
like a
defends
big-
wild new time trial helmet.
He's great.
It does look like something you would have to defend to your friends. Like, no, it really does make me faster. I swear.
When you see how fast it is, you won't laugh anymore.
Yeah.
It is kind of hard to put on. That's why I wear it in the car on the way to the race. They're
Okay,
amazing.
Johnny, let's talk about your leg. What
Amazing.
happened with your leg?
I don't know. I heard it. Typically when I get injuries, or I have in the past, I know that I just push it too far, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like I can feel it getting sore, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I probably should have let up instead of just try to push through it. But this time, so I've been watching videos on the tubes about running, and it turns out that I don't know how to run.
Same. I know.
Like,
No.
I-
You think you do.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, I know how to run. Like
I can move
I
my
played
body
sports
quicker.
growing up. Like I know how to run. Like how hard is it? Turns out I don't know how to run.
Yeah.
And so some of the things, like it was so much easier to run and so much less effort when I focused on like running straight, like keeping, like they say, like a rope from your chest. So like doing that, and then I would run, and my gait was so that I'd put my foot way too far forward instead of landing almost underneath me.
Me too. Big
Um,
time.
and so I was like, oh, this is what it felt like. It felt weird,
Mm-hmm.
but so much less effort. So anyway, I'm just chugging along. I'm waving at people as I'm running by, feeling really good. And then all of a sudden, it just was like, oh, that hurts.
Interesting.
And
Is
my
it-
right calf just like, so I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to push it. I'm just going to start walking. So I stopped and I started walking, and I was like, no, I really hurt it. So I called my son, and he came and picked me up because I didn't want to walk a mile home.
What a bummer.
Did it feel like it perpetually got worse, or was it like an event?
Nope.
Like now
Instant.
it hurts.
Just like, there it is.
Oh.
And
Like I
is
didn't
it-
feel
was it
like my
m-
calves were sore or anything. Like
Was
my
it-
lower back, I could feel like, oh, this is weird. This is
Yeah, because that's running different. You use your back
Yeah,
straps.
I'm
right?
using
your back straps
yep.
are yeah, I get it.
But nothing in my legs. It was weird.
Did it feel like muscle?
Yeah.
Muscly sore? Like
Yeah,
it feel
definite
like,
muscle.
Huh.
It's in the, well, it feels muscly, but it's almost like where your Achilles tendon would
connect?
get into your calf,
Yeah. Okay.
you know?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Straight in the back.
Yeah. So lower on the calf, higher on the ankle. But I like when I pushed on it, it was sore and it was tender.
How long did it stay tender? I'm sure, or is it
It's still a little tender. I can walk today without a limp. Yesterday in the morning I was limping a little bit, but it kind of loosened up during the day. But it's tender right now. But I feel like I can walk without feeling any pain. And I did like a couple of like high knees, just some short high knees to see if I could run or whatever. And I felt fine. So I'm thinking maybe this week
So
I
interesting.
could do
I wonder.
something.
The
But
good news is we're all medical experts.
yes,
Is the
Yep.
best part. So we know what to talk about here.
Yep.
We know how to fix this. My only troubleshooting for this is if it felt like if it was joint based or muscle based or connective tissue based, right? Or if it's like the bones, right?
yeah.
But
I really feel like it was muscle. It almost felt like a cramp,
uh-huh.
and then it just didn't go away.
Just like a permanent cramp.
Yeah. Like it was just a dull pain.
Huh. That coming on that fast makes it sound like that would be a cramp. Like that's kind
Right.
of like how cramps happen. Like they just
Yep.
just
It's
like
just like,
show
here you
up.
go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was sore for days.
Something. No, I don't even know what to do about that. Walk it out and then rest it and then go
Yeah.
slow. Are you going slow?
Yeah, I'm going much slower than I ever have in my entire life.
Yeah, me too. I get it.
It's good.
So I might just have to go slower. But my legs are in the worst shape that they've ever been in also. Like I weigh more than I've ever weighed
Sure.
my entire life. I haven't been exercising, so my legs are super weak.
Yeah, I get that.
And I've got all that weight that I've never
extra weight.
had.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, I don't know.
It's like
It
if you're
feels different.
yeah, and I absolutely understand that. It just is the harder version of the thing you're trying to do, right?
Yeah.
I think another thing too, like somebody told me, like you can never start slow enough for your like when you're ramping up to it. Like granted, we don't have enough time, right, in life to start super slow and walk like a mile before you start running, but like even starting and like walking out and stretching a little bit, not stretching like on a yoga mat, but like just walking, just getting your muscles going before you go. I'm so guilty of not doing that.
I
Just
don't do
like
that at all.
literally,
The warming it up kind of a thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
just jumping off my front step and starting running.
Yeah.
But
And it's particularly like my house, like I immediately go down a sharp hill. And so I start running out of my doorstep and then I run down a sharp hill for like a block and that just destroys all of anything feeling good in the entire thing, right? Like my legs get destroyed, my shins hurt, like my
Yeah, you got to do that like staccato, your foot stops and goes
yeah,
flying behind you thing.
it sucks.
I would use your hill as
The
the
walk
warm up
hill. Yeah, I'm gonna
every
do
time.
that.
I freaking hate that hill.
I'm gonna do that.
I I will ride my bike to Decker's house. And it's funny because there are roads, you'll find this, but like there are roads that you ride your bike on more than you drive in a car, right? Like, and Decker's Hill is one of those roads that I've ridden my bike up more than I've driven a car on. But it is like, I don't even know how many degrees it is
10
You
maybe.
come
of an
up the
incline.
backside there, Sam.
It is, yeah, it is so
That
mean.
hill sucks.
It's so mean.
It's
I will literally get to his house every single time. It's 10 miles, and then I'll get there and I'll just have to like put my head on my handlebars and just like recover for
not.
3 minutes.
Yeah, it's not fun.
It's
And then
ridiculous.
also similarly on your bike when you're leaving your house, I need a little bit of time to remember to like warm up on my bike to start to feel comfortable. But if bombing that hill is the first thing I do going out the door, that also sucks, right? So like it's any way you cut it, it's not fun.
Yeah, I do think about when we go on long rides and you have to go home to that hill every single time.
For real, when I get to that hill, especially if you don't have the opportunity to like flow with traffic and take that turn at any amount of speed, like if you're just cold at the bottom of that hill and just starting, it's the worst. It makes you so sad. Um. Okay. Other news: Jed is officially working up and running on Wahoo and the kick and the Zwift,
It's true.
which is
Putting his
awesome.
blood and sweat into that kicker.
Yeah.
I got my what achievements did I get this week?
Yeah,
I
what'd
got
you
my
get?
500 and 600 watt
Nice.
and 30-mile-an-hour barrier.
The 500 and okay, so that was one of my learnings this week from Zwift is the sprints that you get to do in Zwift and it tracking your watts for like a power meter and like doing that as a like here you achieve this really do work for my psyche. It
Oh,
really
100%.
does makes me want to go and like every single and when I'm feeling so gassed and I'm
It's
not
just
ready to sprint,
gamifying the fitness, you know?
yep, I will be like, okay, but I'm not doing the next one. That was it. Like I'm gonna blow the doors out of it. Like this is not. I'm trying to do zone 2. I won't do the next sprint, and then it's like, oh wait, when's it? Here it comes. Okay, let's do it. One more, and then I just like blow my doors off again. But it's good.
Similarly, I noticed this. I noticed this yesterday. So yesterday, I did manage to get both Trainer Road and Zwift running at the same time.
Oh,
Like
nice.
I
all right.
officially got it working. I mean, like I don't know if this is how I will want to run it in perpetuity, but I got it to work yesterday. So Trainer Road is feeding me the workout, and then Zwift is just along for the ride. Like it just is like going places. And typically in a Trainer Road workout, when it's just like here's a block of thing, like do the thing, like there will be times that I will be mentally okay to stop pedaling, right? Like I'll stop pedaling, I'll like open my window, I'll like stop pedaling, I'll go pee, I'll get some water or whatever, and then like I'm mentally okay with that. But I noticed yesterday, if I started to coast, I was like, oh shit, my little guy isn't going anymore. Like I need to,
Yep.
I
Yeah,
can't
dude.
He
stop. My little
literally
guy
sits
is,
on the side of the road.
yeah, I don't want to be
He
stopped.
stops and like
I know. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So I just pedaled the entire way through. I was like, okay,
that's
it's very
that's
different.
exactly what I've experienced too.
That mentality is very, very different, right? And in Zwift, you can coast when you're going down hills, which is awesome. But that doesn't necessarily line up with when my Trainer Road thinks it's okay that I could coast. And so it made it very, very hard. But it was very, very
Bro, you
fun.
gotta pick one and do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But it's funny, man. It's super motivating. Like those
I'll
things.
tell
is a side-
you. Oh, go ahead, Sam.
I was gonna say this is a super side note. So if you have on topic,
It's barely on topic. The two bummer things that happened to me this week on Zwift. So when I got that 600 watt output, I was going along and I was at like 19, 20 miles an hour or something like that. And this dude blows past me and it says like Pierre Lebike or whatever his name was. And then in parentheses, over 70. And he just blew past me and it's like close the gap. And I'm like, there's no way I'm letting this 70-year-old man smoke me. So I clicked it in and I was doing like full sprint to try and catch up with him. There was no chance, dude. That guy was an absolute
that's just like real
beast.
life.
That is real
You
life.
could be you could be as good at whatever you think you are, and there's going to be a 70-year-old that's gonna just wipe
Just
the floor with
Crash
you
you.
Just
Absolutely.
every time.
absolutely smoke you.
I
And
had this
then-
moment one time I was running, and I was running up a hill, and there was a mountain biker ahead of me. And so I'm running, and I see this mountain biker, and I'm like, I'm going to overtake this mountain biker on this hill. And granted, like, there's a lot of times where if you're running up a hill and biking up a hill, the runner has the
Two
advantage,
different,
right?
yeah.
But he was ahead of me, and I could see his calves, and they just like solid, just sinew and leather, and just like this guy's fit as hell.
Just steel cables for calves.
Yeah. So I'm running, and I'm like, I'm gonna overtake this mountain biker. I feel like the toughest guy that ever existed. And I run past him, no joke, 70 at the youngest. And then I run past him, I'm like, I am the biggest baby that ever babied. That guy is the toughest person ever. Good grief.
Yeah, and then
Pretty amazing.
so my other thing is right after I got into this race that only I was participating in with this dude that was way faster than me, I got passed by a level 100, and he gave me a confetti thumbs up.
Yeah.
What'd you get an
And
achievement for?
I was, yeah, I got an achievement for it, but I was going
Yep.
like 10 miles an hour at that point. I was so smoked.
He
I
knew.
love
He
it.
saw you. He saw your work.
This
Real
is a side
recognize
note
real.
on Zwift to Strava. So what Zwift has made me start really focusing on, because of like the same thing that Jed's talking about, of like you got your X amount of watts achievement, right?
Hmm.
Um, on Strava you can see like your longest ride that you've ever rode, or your fastest time you ran a mile, right?
Right.
But you can also see your power output. So you can say, what's my most watts that I put out for 5 seconds, for 30 seconds, except for yours, Decker. It shows that you do not have it. So I can look at other people's and I can see it, but for when I try to find yours, it shows up as non-existent.
It might be the way Decker's settings are configured because you can
Maybe it's
Maybe
a
hide
it's
that.
privacy.
private.
Maybe it's a
Yeah.
privacy thing.
I remember seeing that in there forever ago, right? There's a setting where it's like you can display your stats or you can hide them.
Maybe. Look. That's super interesting. Data permissions. No, that's not it. I don't know. I'll look at it. That's really interesting. I just got a notification on. So I've been on mine. I've been doing tempo work and sweet spot, which is so painful. Um, for some reason, right recently, tempo work has really been kicking my ass. Where before, that's where I'd spend a lot of my time. I really like that, and I think that's like it's a good tempo or a good FTP builder maybe. But this lately, it's just been absolutely kicking my ass. But I did a tempo workout, and I got the notification that it was the highest normalized power for an hour that I'd done before, which is pretty
Cool.
cool. So I know it's tracking that somewhere.
I'm sure it is.
But
So
I
if you go
don't.
to if you go to an achievement, so like go to any ride, you could like any bike ride, and you
Uh-huh.
can see your segments, like, and how you did, right? Where your gold medal, your
Yeah.
bronze medal, or whatever
Hmm.
is. And then scroll to the bottom of those, and it'll show your best efforts.
Yeah.
Then if you go there, then it'll show like longest ride was Lotaja. Do you see that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And go to the far right, and there will be power.
I'm gonna have to dig into this. I don't know why. Yeah,
Can
it
you
does.
see
It does.
power?
It has it.
Oh, it's just not
It's just.
sharing it.
It's
Maybe it's a
like.
private thing.
It's like a private thing. I can change that though, and I should change it, but it's not. It's not accurate. This is really funny. Oh, that's per. Is that all time or is this? This looks like it's per thing because it says my best 5 second power is 259. So it had to have been per ride.
Probably that right. Okay, so like, does it show it like this? Like,
No,
ta-da!
I'll
And
look.
then you
I'll look
look,
at it. I'll dig
and then
into
you can
it.
see like, oh, for 5 seconds, for 1 minute, for 5 minutes.
Anyway, two things happened to me this week. Overall successful, even though I was training this week and trying to hit my set workouts was good. Even though I was at work at like 7 and we had a bunch of people in from out of town, and so I wasn't leaving until like 9 or 10 at night. And I missed a run on Friday, which I made up with a different workout I'll talk about in a second, which is very weird. Uh, on Friday, I missed a run, and then on Thursday morning, I was scheduled to ride an hour and 15 minutes, and I slept in, so I could only ride for 45 minutes. And so I failed that workout because I had slept through my alarm, which is bogus. And admittedly, during that ride, I was feeling so gassed and so like
Sounded like you needed it.
it would took everything out of me. So yeah, I totally did need it. But instead of doing my run, I would have ran on my lunch break. Um, I went to the driving range and I hit golf ball, which is
That's
a new workout that I did. Um, and I'm sore in very weird, very specific spaces from it, like weird spots I've never been sore before. But it's really fun. So now you know about that.
that's happy. Did you go with somebody, or you just
Yeah,
like
just
I'm good?
there's like a bunch of the people at work, the people that came from out of town, and um, so that was fun. Uh, I'm gonna say, like, historically, I haven't indexed very heavily on swimming. Just like a thing that you add on to. I could try really hard to swim better, and I won't ever really improve all that much, right? Like if I get much faster on the bike, it will have a much bigger effect than on my overall time than if I get much better on the swim. So I haven't
Yeah.
really indexed on it, but I will say I'm trying to swim 3 times a week. That it just helps me feel more fit. like like it feels like I'm actually doing like real training, real work. And we talked about this last time, but it actually shifts my overall mentality about my training by a large margin. So maybe it's not the actual training benefit of my swim time will get faster, but the aggregate training benefit of my like I feel like I'm actually training because I'm swimming a lot. Maybe that's worth a whole lot. So there's something to be said about that because it's really genuinely affected how I feel like I'm doing on my training. I'm a big fan
So
of it.
inevitably, after I do the race, I always swimming is the first thing I stop doing. 100%. Like I just
Yeah.
cold turkey
Mhm.
stop
No
doing
more
it.
swimming. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and then once I'm getting serious for training, then I'll pick back up swimming and start doing it again. And not this time that I started, but the last time I did it, I did the math and the difference of like me taking 6 months off. Granted, I am not a fast swimmer, but the difference of me taking the time off and where I started cold again was less time than if I were just to practice putting on my wetsuit faster for
Yeah.
like a full distance. It's like rather than going to the pool and being cold and doing the whole thing, I should just like figure out
Just
how to get on and
train
off my
train
wetsuit.
your T1,
Your
T2 and just get
T1
mad
your
gains.
T1 is
A
much
hundred
faster.
percent,
Yep. That's
100%.
that's for
Super
sure.
motivating statistic, but
Well, I feel the same way about my running, right? Like my and this is my self-diagnosed like biggest hurdle to overcome with doing faster triathlons is my running, my swimming, I have one gear. I have one gear and that's it. I can run at one speed and I can swim at one speed, and that's it. I don't have the higher gears. I can't like I will run a 9 minute 5K and be gassed, and I will run a 9.5 minute marathon and be gassed, and that's the only speed I've got. And if I could learn how to like make it so I can run the faster ones faster and like unlock those extra gears the same way with swimming, right? Like if I try super hard to swim fast, the difference is 2 seconds a lap. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like that is nothing.
And the
But
amount of effort,
and
perceived effort.
way high,
Yeah,
way
then
high.
you're gonna
Mhm.
be smoke checked, right?
Yep, exactly. And then I can do that for 3 laps, and then after that, I'm gassed, right? So I don't know, man. Like similar running, both running and swimming right now is this idea. If I can unlock those gears and like learn how to do the thing, I don't know if it's more efficiently or better or whatever, but something about that to make it so it works
Did,
better.
do you ever run like reverse split sticker?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like even when I was at my highest running fittest, right? Like I was still in the 8 to 9:30. That's just how fast I run. I've never ran fast. I've always just been solid state. And a reverse split is good. But I think realistically, what I'd like to be doing is there's a couple things that I want to do. Is I want to, like Johnny was saying, like learn how to run. I want to like really pick apart my gait and really pick apart like how I'm expending the energy, and then running as slow as I can to make it so I have that working the way I need it to work. And then once I, once I get through that, then maybe do like speed work on one day of the week, right?
Not laughing at what you were saying, Decker. I'm sorry. I was remembering the time I accidentally called you on that 10K.
Yeah, that was really awesome. And it was
My phone was in. I had running shorts that had the little pocket liner on the inside, and I guess I had been sweating enough that somehow it called Decker, and so I was listening to my tunes, and all of a sudden Decker's like, "Hello."
I
And
thought
I'm
he
like,
heard all of your positive self-talk just in a video
It was a little bit
yeah,
of
or a
no,
voice message. You could do it, Jed. You got this.
no. He's like, "Hello," and I'm like, "Hey, Decker." He's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm running that 10K today." And he's like, "Well, how's your time?" And I looked at my watch, and I'm like, "It's this." And he's like, "You're going too fast. Why are you going so fast?" And there was a guy running next to me, and he heard me like having this argument with you, Decker. It was hilarious. The Sam, the Deseret News 10K starts off on a downgrade,
Awesome.
and so I felt like I was running at the pace that I had kind of planned to set, and then it leveled out, and I just kept going at that speed. And by the time I called Decker, I was like halfway through the course, and I was going
You
a
were
full
hauling
minute
ass.
faster than the
Mhm.
pace that I wanted to be at. And then I paid for it on the second half of the race.
Yeah. Which running downhill, you're like, this is awesome. And you're like, wait, this is actually a
this
trick.
is
Like
this is
this
really
is a
bad, yeah.
lot of effort.
And then that was the race that I got to the finish line, and Chick-fil-A was handing out chicken sandwiches, and it's like the last thing I want to do
Perfect.
is eat this hot ass chicken sandwich.
Crush just a fried chicken sandwich. I want a fried chicken sandwich, but like 3 hours later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Whenever we get done with those races, I'm so jealous of the people just sitting down in the
That can
tent and
eat.
just like
I can't do
drinking
that.
a beer and eating all this food and just like eating pizzas and just like, dude, I can't even like drink water at that moment.
That's another thing is like okay, here's the things I need to learn how to do. Run. I need to learn how to run. I need to learn how to swim. I need to learn how to eat while I'm doing those
Mhm.
things, right? Like all of those things, like all like I need because I think a lot of that, the people that can eat afterwards are the people that figured out how to eat during.
How
Yeah.
to do their nutrition correctly
If you do your
and not
nutrition
just burn
correctly and
every calorie in your bloodstream.
Of the four disciplines, the nutrition's the hardest for me, hands
the
down,
hardest. It is so hard.
without a doubt.
I was thinking about it. There's a fifth discipline. So they say that there's the three, and then the fourth is nutrition, and the fifth one is laundry.
Yeah.
I got done
You do
yesterday, and
so much friggin'
I was
laundry.
like, "Geez, Louise, there's so much laundry to be done. You just washing shit all the time."
Especially if you're doing multiple different like brick workouts and stuff. And if you break those up, I've like had this awakening. It's like this is the second shower I've had and the third like wardrobe change I've had. I feel like I'm like on backstage on a play or something.
Exactly. Exactly. So much laundry.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so we need to fiddle around with Jed's bike, get it so he's not rubbing himself. I'm just gonna let that one sit there.
My new goal is to never have that happen again.
Yeah, exactly. We need to get the bike size for Johnny, and he needs to get some cleats. I looked it up. That bike shop near you does sell them. They're a little bit more expensive if you order them online, but if they're a bike shop, they deserve it. So if they're the local guys, and if they're cool, then they deserve it. So give them your business. It's like
They
a
are
$3
they are the
difference.
local guys. Yeah.
Yeah, $3 difference. Like that's worth it.
I I also wonder if you could take your bike in and just, depending on how chill they are, you could be like, "Hey, can you help me like
They
just
might be
figure out
chill.
where the general?" Because like when you buy a bike, they'll just like, "Here's the seat. Let's put it in the right spot for you."
Yeah,
They
I
might
know
do it.
they do bike fitting. I saw on their website they.
Also,
But you can. I'm wondering if not like paying the money for a bike fit, but to just like find the chill dude that's just like, hey, I brought this bike, and do you know where I should put my seat? And just play dumb for a second, just like I'm trying to start this, and he's gonna be like, you got to find the mechanic that's like
wants to talk about
can't
everything.
help themselves not to help you, right?
Mhm.
Most bike, if they're a cool bike shop, they'll be those people,
There'll
and they
be
would
those
love to help.
dudes. There is something about that bike is one of the seat stays has a dent in it. So, and it's an aluminum bike, so it's fine, but it has a dent in it. If you crash, keep your eye on the dent.
I showed it to him.
Because it might
After the crash, not during the crash.
not during the crash. Don't watch it during the crash, but afterwards check that dent because that seat stay might or that seat stay might get worse. It's not gonna just like collapse on you or anything, but if like it gets hammered, then you want to
Yeah.
eyeball it.
Okay.
Okay. Sam, what was your week like?
My week was good. I put on more spread out miles on my bike than I probably ever have for a long time. So like I just did a lot of like I would say shorter or medium distance rides rather than like one big long ride. And then but I mean I got 120 miles on my bike this week, which felt good
Great.
about.
Yeah.
Um So I like that. I like that I did it, and I mean, sponsored by Zwift because I think playing with that and just figuring it out has kind of gave me some entertainment through it, as well as it's been raining like crazy all weekend. So I was planning to go more out, but did not happen. That being said, my running fell short this week, so I need to find some ways to get running into my week. It's just been logistically challenging because I've also been like the responsible parent, so it's easier to go into the garage and ride your bike while your kids are doing something than go ditch them and go out for a run.
Or you make them ride their bikes next to you while you run.
I definitely have done that. I definitely have done that. Um, so yeah, I got to figure out get some more running miles. That's my goal this next week is just get some more runs in, and then also my pool broke down, so I couldn't go
I got an
swimming.
email about that.
Yeah, so my pool didn't work this week, and I was gonna make some adjustments, but then logistically it didn't work either. So swimming and running, but I feel like the biking's staying there. I feel like it's yeah. Now that I see my stats of my watts, it makes me want to like play that
Play
game
the
and
game.
go do some squats in the gym so I can get my
Mm-hmm.
peak watts
Mm-hmm.
higher.
My goal this week is so every fourth week on my training plan is a lighter week. So it's an endurance week. So I'll do endurance miles instead of like pushing hard, which will be really nice. But my goal this week is to hit all of my workouts and hit 2 gym sessions on bike ride days. So I'll do a gym session on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We'll see how that shakes down. I forgot to tell you. So because I'm swimming with such frequency, I'm swimming 3 times a week. Uh, there's this dude that keeps splitting the lane with me. We're like we're like dudes now. It's awesome. And he is probably 63 or early 60s and he swims so fast.
Yeah,
So fast. and he comes in his little jammer shorts. Like he's not like swimming in like the super speedy trunks or anything. They're just regular old dude swim shorts, and he crushes so hard, and it is so amazing.
love it.
So shout out that guy. I don't know what that guy's name is or anything, but shout out that guy. He's great. And he swims so fast. He'll swim like the same distance as me. I think. If I had to guess, he would swim the same distance as me, but then be done like 8 minutes. He'll just be like done. He'll just be like gone, and I'll be like, oh, okay, all right, I'll finish mine for the next 10 minutes because you're that much faster than me. What's everybody else's goals? My goals are to hit 2 actual gym sessions this week, on top of my normal stuff.
So I'm still struggling with getting up early enough to do the thing before work. So I had 2 successful ones before work, and then I had one that was definitely done during working hours while I was working from home.
If you work from home, some of those getting those in working from home is like a cheat code.
Yeah, it is.
It is amazing.
So I had to do that on Thursday, and then Friday I was gonna cycle in the morning and then try and get a jog at work on the treadmill. Didn't get up early enough for the cycle, but I did get the treadmill. And I'm trying to remember how I used to get that to post to Strava. Was I just doing a manual entry off the treadmill?
Probably.
No,
Probably
well,
manual.
I think your watch, like my watch, has a treadmill run option.
Oh, maybe I was doing that. I couldn't remember, but I got done with the run, and then I was like, I don't know how to get this onto Strava, but it
I
doesn't
don't know
matter.
how accurate. Like when
It
I
cal-
do the.
mine asks me to
It's
calibrate.
totally different.
Mine asked me to calibrate, so I run.
Oh,
and
that's right.
and it's
I
like,
remember
hey,
doing that. Yeah.
you ran 3 miles. What does your treadmill say? And then you're like, oh, it says a mile, and it's like, oh,
I
we're
didn't-
way off.
Is
I
there a
didn't even
way to
think to put
redo
on my
that? I need to
Garmin.
figure out how to recalibrate then.
It's like a
I don't know.
setting. You have to go to the treadmill sport in the watch, right, Decker? And then it's the sub setting to get into the recalibrate. Am I remembering that right?
I would think that would be the case. Mine asked me. Maybe I haven't done a treadmill run in a long time. Mine asked me after I did my first one recently what the treadmill mileage said. But there's bound to be a way. We can find that for sure. There's bound to be a way. Let's look it up. Garmin.
I'll need to start wearing that to work when I have my gym bag with me then, because I didn't have my Garmin with me at all.
You do need to do that because you need to start tracking your metrics, my guy. Also, you got to take your vitamin D. Jed had good health news.
Health news. Except for my vitamin D.
Yeah.
Well, what's the good health news?
Oh yeah, so I had a clinic appointment with my oncology team this week. So they did all the things, and this is interesting, right? So my particular diagnosis is EBV positive diffuse large B-cell lymphoma. The EBV is the Epstein-Barr virus. So sometimes lymphoma can interact with Epstein-Barr virus. It doesn't happen very much, but like if we were to all get Epstein-Barr virus tested, probably 3 out of 4 of us would have it. Like most people just have it in their system. They've had it at some point in life, and then it's just dormant. It's been beaten, right? So, but it's always just kind of in your blood. My particular cancer interacted with it, and that makes it hyper aggressive, right? So, but the cool thing about it is one of the ways, once you've got that typing down and they know what to look for, since it interacts with the Epstein-Barr virus, you can do an Epstein-Barr virus test. And if the Epstein-Barr virus is present after a bone marrow transplant, that can be indicative that the cancer has had a resurgence, right? So I had to do an Epstein-Barr panel this week, and that came back negative. So all 3 strains, no sign of it. So continue to track. And then next step is I'll have a repeat PET scan at 1 year, which will be April, and hoping that will be clear too. So
Awesome.
I asked Doc Bach, the doc on the block, if I could be doing this training thing. And she's like, yeah, go nuts. You're all set. And so everything's good that way.
Awesome.
And I was pumped.
Except for vitamin
Yeah.
D.
And, oh yeah, except for my vitamin D. She's like, have you been taking your vitamin D? And I kind of looked down and she's like, you hesitated there, Jed. And I'm like, yeah, no, I haven't been. You can see my blood work. I clearly haven't been taking the vitamin D. And she's like, yeah, take your vitamin D. But if this is the only thing I have to complain about, I'm pretty happy.
That's awesome. That's
It's
awesome.
great news.
I just looked it up. I don't know if this is real, but it says if you run over 2K on your treadmill setting, then when you go to save the workout, there's a calibrate option.
Oh, like each time or the first time?
Probably each time. You know how afterwards, like you go
Yeah,
to
like
end your workout, it's
input
like
heart
measure
rate
your
monitor.
heart rate, do the
Yeah.
whatever, a discard. I think there was a calibrate option there. Check it there, and if not, then
That's a good idea.
I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. Mine auto prompted, but I don't know if that was just because, or, I don't know, for some reason.
I think it did the first time, and then I probably just ignore it and just save and or disregard because it's so far off.
Also, running on a treadmill sucks. So why would you want to do that?
Mhm.
But it's a necessary evil right now.
Yeah.
Okay, we got super into the weeds. All right, who's next on goals this week? Okay, wait, Jed, what was your goals?
It's just to
Vitamin
do
D.
my workouts before the thing, take my vitamin D, and I want to get 2 runs this week.
I'm gonna ask, do you do better hitting the thing if you have the schedule like Tuesday is this day, Thursday is this day, Wednesday is this day, Friday is this day?
Yep.
Then set those up. I personally do way better with that than if I leave it open.
What do you mean set it up?
Like give yourself that schedule? My brain likes.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what. I goofed up the getting up twice, and that was a bummer.
Good. I was just gonna say my brain likes to think I like it to be freeform, but I don't react as I don't.
No, I have to have a plan for the week.
Yeah.
That like this day I'm doing this thing and what it's kind of going to be. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay, Johnny, what's yours?
My goal is to not hurt myself this week.
Yeah. Good goal.
I want to.
Solid goal.
Yeah, I'm just. I'm gonna do some treadmill walking, I think, just to make sure that my legs are good and before I re-injure myself.
Yeah.
So I'll do that. I do want to go buy some cleats and get the bike set up because I could do that without injuring myself.
You could totally do that without injuring yourself.
Yeah, so that when I feel ready to get on the bike, it's ready and I don't have to do the whole thing of getting it ready.
Johnny, the very first ride I took on my new bike, I adjusted the seat to where I was like, okay, that's where I want it, and I got it. I thought I had it tightened down, and I can't remember how far I rode. I think I did like 20 miles that day or something, but maybe halfway through, I was like, I feel super wrong. I feel like my knees are hitting me in the chest. And then I got off the bike to take a look at it, and the seat had come just slowly, had sank all the way down. And luckily, I had a kit with me to fix it. Otherwise, it would have been an awkward ride the rest of the way. But make sure you tighten those things to spec, right?
Will do.
Okay, Sam, what is yours?
Like I said, run. It's interesting because I'm not this person a lot. I like to have things planned out and pretty organized. Except for this, I don't think I mentally respond to it as good. Of like Monday I have to do this and I have to do so I think I just set aside the time and anyways.
Hit the mileage and the time goals as opposed to the schedule goal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think for me it's just if I add the structure to it, I'm a very duty bound, goal oriented person, and if I have to be careful to not overdo it for this, because then it stops being a game that's fun and starts being more of like something I have to do.
Yeah, sure.
Um, anyways, but more running is what I would like to do. Um, and also find some more time in the pool. So I want to swim and run is my goals.
Okay.
I'm also still I'm about a third of the way to where I want to be for my losing weight phase.
You cut phase.
Yeah, I've since Jed critiqued me, it's my losing weight phase.
No, cut phase is appropriate.
Um. Anyway, so I'm still on that journey. I feel like this week was a little bit better for a balance of like nutrition in versus nutrition or caloric out.
That
Um,
stuff's hard.
but I still feel not perfect at it. So I'm gonna keep trying that. But I mean, encouraging because I'm on my way. I'm gonna keep going. Um, yeah. So that's really what I'm focused on.
Um. Okay. All this sounds good. There's another thing another topic I was going to bring up. I don't remember what it is now.
I do. I mean, I talked to Decker a little bit about this, but I do think we should do sometime we should do a virtual summit on Zwift,
We
and we
need
could
to.
show Johnny the ropes of Zwift, so you don't have to be on it, Johnny, at this time, and me, Decker, and Jed can be sweating and going through the thing and try it.
I think
I don't
that's a
know. I
great
think it'd be
idea.
fun.
Maybe let me look. Hold on. Maybe on Saturday we could do a group ride. Saturday morning we could do a group ride. Actually, are you out of town, Sam?
Not this Saturday.
Next Saturday. Okay. We could do a group ride. Uh, and just cruise around and do some Zwifting.
Yeah, we could figure out. There's a couple different options. I think. I think there's ones that everybody goes at their own pace and it keeps us all together no matter what. We could just literally do open form and ride like me and Decker did.
Yeah.
That's a
That's
little
harder.
challenging because
Mhm.
everybody has to maintain the same speed. Or we could all do our own thing and just we do like this same route and not be virtually together next to each other, bumping shoulders in the app, but we like do the same general thing. Anyways, there's a lot of options. We'll have to look through how we'd want to do that. But
When I've seen those like giant pelotons go by, is that a group ride happening?
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
That's cool.
And we could totally just jump in on one of those, right? Like there's
doesn't it make you want to do it though? Like every time they pass me, I'm like, oh, I gotta get in that.
I
Like I
know.
gotta this crew.
um we have to figure out how they rubber band and like do various fitness level group rides. I haven't looked that up at all yet.
I can look it up too. I think it's just the way you set up a group ride. I'm looking on the thing right now.
But we officially have a club now on there.
Oh, did you make
Did you
the
get to 5?
Oh yeah.
Yep, I made it 5. We have a club.
I don't know what I'm at.
I don't know if I am. I have an application for your club. I don't know. You have applied to join this club, and your member status is pending.
Oh, I haven't let you in yet.
Oh, I hope I pass.
I'm
Let me
still
know when the
level 3.
interview is.
Let me look at my list. Uh,
Let me.
what the heck? Why wouldn't it tell me?
It's really weird. It wouldn't.
whatever. I have approved your request. Oh, I also have approved Jed's request. All right, you're members now. Look at that. So, yeah, we can do the inaugural Sad Boy Zwift ride.
Yeah.
That's a name that we will have. Okay. Have we done our time allotment for this?
Yeah.
Have we met our time allotment?
I need to concoct some sort of evening meal.
I also need to. Okay.
Me too.